We all thought that Dove Cameron was done with Disney, but it looks like she'll be coming back for something many people love. Another Descendants movie. Welcome to Riveted, and stick around to find out exactly what she said and whether she'll be joining the cast of Riverdale. Dove Cameron has been attending many interviews lately, and interviewers always want to learn what's next for her. Of course, we know that she's taken up other projects, and she's also working on her music, which is getting a lot of positive reviews. Well, some also want to know whether there will be another Descendants movie, and the best person to answer the burning question is obviously the main actor, Dove Cameron. Nothing official has been announced, but we have reason to believe that the story isn't over, according to Dove's latest interview. She hinted by saying, "I may or may not have heard something about something I might be doing involving the franchise. I would never say that it's over, but I also would not confirm anything at this time. I would be open to do more." Well, that sounds like Dove Cameron is hinting another Descendants movie, or at least a spin-off. When Descendants 3 aired, the cast members and the director said it was the last sequel, and they were never told whether there would be a spin-off. We must admit that Descendants 3 left us with more questions than answers. Fans never got to know the other villain parents apart from Hades. They also didn't know how the kids from the Isle of the Lost would coexist with the kids in Auradon after the barrier was broken. They didn't even get to see the royal wedding between Mal and Ben. There's so much more that can be explored if the franchise is actually turned into a series. And everyone knows this, including Mal. In the interview, she also said, "I know that Disney has been very specific about saying that this world doesn't really ever end. It goes on forever, and the possibilities are endless. We saw many of our favorite characters from Disney in Descendants, but there are those who never made it to the franchise, and fans were hoping they would join the party in perhaps a fourth Descendants movie. Fans were really hoping for Facilier, and he was featured, but he barely had 5 seconds of screen time. Another person fans and the cast members desperately wanted to see was Mother Gothel. The only child that Mother Gothel raised during Tangled was one she stole, but her own child could probably find a lot of ways to be wicked if he or she had a chance to visit the Isle of the Lost or attend Auradon Prep. And wouldn't you want to see Scar's child in Descendants? Well, Dude did a remarkable job in the franchise, but it would have been great to have a villain animal on the show to spice up the adventure. Scar's child and Dude would probably end up being very close. Even Kenny Ortega had several people in mind for another Descendants movie. In one of his interviews, he said, "How about having Winifred Sanderson's daughter, or son, come into the next Descendants? She could stir up some trouble with her spellbook and cauldron." Another Descendants movie would benefit the actors and the crew, but Disney would also benefit a lot. We all know that Disney loves making money, and the production has been very busy this year. In case you didn't know, Disney will launch Disney Plus in November of this year, and they wanted to make sure they have enough shows before launching the streaming service. The shows they've released this year have definitely made them a lot of money. According to Forbes, Disney's family of studios has crossed the $8 billion mark and is headed toward an inevitable $11 billion in box office for 2019. As of Tuesday, August 27th, Disney's 2019 releases grossed $8.19 billion worldwide. Toy Story 4 alone passed the $1 billion threshold to become Disney's 5th movie of 2019 to top that magic box office number. The remaining shows for this year, including Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, Frozen 2, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, as well as Fox releases Ad Astra and Spies in Disguise, will easily contribute at least another $3 billion to Disney's global receipts. Descendants may have not contributed billions, but it ranks as one of Disney's great successes. When the movie was first released in 2015, it drew a strong 6.6 million total viewers, including 3 million kids aged 2 to 11. Additionally, the film set a record with 1.4 million views on the Watch Disney Channel app. Descendants eclipsed the 7.7 million people who tuned in for the TV premiere of the first High School Musical movie in 2006. The premiere of Descendants 2 drew a live +3 total audience of 21 million across 6 of Disney's networks. This means that Descendants beat its own record and set a new one, which was very difficult to beat. Descendants 3 had the highest single-day viewership in the Disney Now app for any Disney Channel original movie. Within the first few days, 8.4 million people watched the third installment of the franchise. Dove Cameron agreed that it would be wise for Disney to continue with the franchise. She added, "To be completely honest, as an actor who is not beholden to Disney, I think it would be smart for them to capitalize on the brand that they created. I think it would be smart to do maybe a spin-off with maybe the younger characters." Descendants 3 introduced us to amazing new VKs: Dizzy, daughter of Drizella Tremaine; Celia, daughter of Dr. Facilier; Squeaky and Squirmy, twin sons of Mr. Smee. And all these new VKs have the potential to carry the storyline and introduce fans to new adventures. We could catch up with them as they settle into life in Auradon. Celia, for instance, has undeniable potential. When she was first introduced, fans believed that she was probably the main villain in D3, even though she was a very small girl. She had so much energy, wit, and charisma throughout the sequel, and she can easily be the center of the story in another Descendants movie. Celia tracks the cracks of magic in the underground tunnel. realizing that the presence of magic, though minimal, will allow her to use it. Celia uses her tarot cards to predict her future, and there's a great chance on the horizon for her. Plus, fans complained that they never got to see enough of the twins, and a new movie would give them the opportunity to learn more about Mr. Smee's sons. And of course, Dizzy would make an incredible friend just like Evie in all the Descendants movies. The Descendants novels also have interesting characters who would build the story to a whole new level. We have Bobby Hood, son of Robin Hood, Ariana Rose, Audrey's snooty cousin, Princess Merida, cheerful son of Happy, Krabby, son of Grumpy, and the fairy godmother's sister, CJ, and Freddie Facilier. Fans also said that they'd love to see a spin-off of the VK's childhood. They were introduced as teenagers, but we never got to see how they survived in the Isle of the Lost. In the books, Mal despised Evie for not being invited to Evie's 6th birthday party, causing Maleficent to send a curse on Evie and her mother. Evie becomes Mal's target for an ultimate scheme project and gets locked inside Cruella de Vil's fur closet, which is full of bear traps, and she barely survives the ordeal. After meeting up with Carlos, she helps Carlos with his invention about the machine that would pick up TV and radio signals from outside the dome. It would be incredible to see how the kids grew up in the Isle of the Lost and how their parents affected their decisions and way of life. If not the younger characters, fans would also love to see the spin-off of the older VKs, like The Adventures of Jay. They'd love to travel with Jay as he starts on his journey to rediscover his life and come across new challenges in the wild. Something else interesting would be the marriage between Mal and Ben. It would be very interesting to see them rule Auradon and have kids of their own. Their friends would also probably marry each other, and all their kids would go to school with the children in the Isle of the Lost. As Dove said, the possibilities are endless, and there's no day it will ever be the end of the story. Probably the end of the journey for the actors, but never the end of the story. Well, as much as it would be great to see another Descendants movie, there's one thing the fans will never get over, and that is the death of Cameron Boyce. He played a very key role in Descendants, and no one can imagine another sequel without him. Carlos was always the life of the party in Descendants, and deleting him from the franchise would be very disheartening. Many people don't want a sequel without him, but other fans believe that Cameron would be happy if Disney released another Descendants movie. He would want the legacy and the story to continue even if he wouldn't be part of the story. What do you think? Do you believe it would be a good idea to have another Descendants movie without Carlos? Let us know in the comments section below. So, we've also been wondering whether Dove Cameron will join the cast of Riverdale, right? Tweets and comments have recently resurfaced about Dove joining the cast. Back in 2017, Dove Cameron said that she wouldn't mind joining the cast of Riverdale, and she said she was a big fan of the comics. Her ideal role was Sabrina, and she talked about playing the role way before Kiernan Shipka was cast in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. The production never talked about including Sabrina or Dove Cameron in Riverdale, but Dove was definitely open for the idea. Recently, a fan made a very convincing trailer of Riverdale and included Dove in the teaser. Fans were very excited that it was finally happening, yet Dove Cameron had no idea. After endless mentions on Twitter and Instagram, the young star also looked for the trailer and admitted that it was very convincing. However, she recently went on the air to clear things. Unfortunately, we will not be seeing her in the series, which has already started airing on our screens. Well, maybe in the future, Dove Cameron might actually join the production. Something else Dove Cameron has hinted is her interest in playing a superhero in Marvel. Dove portrayed the teen assassin Ruby on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but she would also love to play Gwen Stacy from Spider-Man. Would you love to see Dove play Gwen in live action? Let us also know your thoughts and comments. As we wait to see whether there's another Descendants movie, we'll keep you updated on other shows and other things happening around you. This has been Riveted, and we publish amazing videos daily. Turn on the notification to stay up to date, and thanks for watching.